So it's Friday evening here, the end of the working week, and I think for most of the people. But we're going to sit for 3 minutes and just shake out all of that end of week stuff. So just make yourself comfortable, eyes closed or open, whatever works for you. We're just going to sit just quietly for a few minutes. For those of you just joining, we're just sitting quietly in meditation for a few moments. Just mute yourself if you haven't already. And while you're sitting just quietly, take a moment and have some gratitude for having connected with this beautiful practice and set an intention for yourself. It could be for wellness and healing for yourself, or for somebody else, or for all beings, whatever you wish. But to set an intention really makes the most of this beautiful practice opportunity. Just bring your awareness back to where you are in your own space. This practice is part of the Yuthok Nyingthig, and for those of you who don't know, the Yuthok Nyingthig is a spiritual practice that was something that was developed, I suppose developed is the contemporary word, by Yuthok who's considered the father of Tibetan medicine, and also as a walking emanation of the medicine Buddha. And he compiled the first book of Tibetan medicine and this practice, and then that was continued when he came again as Yuthok. We had Yuthok the Elder and then Yuthok the Younger, and it becomes very complicated because he reincarnated into his own family line. There's lots of great stories about that, but this practice today comes from the Yuthok Nyingthig. Our lineage holder for this practice is my teacher, Dr. Nida Chenatsang, and he received it from his teacher, Khenpo Turusunam. So I'm not your teacher, I'm just facilitating tonight. And as always, I encourage you to, receive it from a fully qualified person if you can, although Dr. Nina has given me permission to do this. So one of the reasons I picked the particular time for this session is that we are now in what's known as the transition season. At the end of every season, there's about an 18-day period where the energy returns to the earth, and we're often a little bit vulnerable at this time. And over the course of the year, it makes a full fifth season. So in combination with the moon, I like to offer this at a time where our bodies could do with a little bit of support. and just that little bit of extra coming back to ourselves and just reconnecting. It's a time where the spleen energy is very active, so often people get small illnesses and things, or don't feel particularly well or happy in their bodies. Some people find the effects of this practice go forward for many days. You may find you sleep really well tonight. You might have really cool dreams tonight, but it sometimes takes quite a few days for the full return of the energy. You can do this practice for yourself. You can also do it for anyone else if there's somebody that you are concerned about and you'd like to give their health and their vital life force a little bit of a kickstart. There'll be points in the practice where I say the word the sponsor, and that's when you would say to yourself your name or their name or both. I personally don't believe prayer is limited, so I think you can pray for as many people as you care to. We're working a lot with the energies of the dakinis, so it's really good if you can have faith in the power of these dakinis and understand that there are countless dakinis there waiting to help us. And we'll be calling back the things specific to each one. They'll have their own powers and their own energies. But along with the things that we list for each one, I think in this current time on the planet and just modern life in general, it's good to also feel and call back things like confidence and courage and equanimity and peace of mind, because modern life and our current times have stolen all those things from a lot of us. So as you participating and listening to what's going on, feel these things also returning to you, not just your physical health, but your energetically and spiritually aligned health as well. So, as I mentioned before, take a minute to work out the compass points. If you're not familiar with them where you are, your phone should have an app. If it doesn't, just take a wild guess. If it's really too difficult, you can sit and just imagine that you are rotating and facing the directions that you need to as we go through. Just a reminder, if you can all mute yourselves, that would be great. We'll get going. Now, just a thumbs up from somebody. Can you hear me okay? And is this big enough for everybody? Yes, great. So I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land from which I greet you today. For me, that is the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I honour their living connection to the land and waters of this country and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. I offer the same respect to any elder who may be present here with us today. And I encourage you just to take a moment and make that connection with the traditional owners from the land you are joining us from. And I would also like to acknowledge my teacher, Dr. Nita Chenatsang, and offer always my thanks and gratitude to him for these precious teachings and his constant wisdom and kindness. And cheeky smile. So, La energy. La energy is a knowledge that was discovered and developed by both Tibetan medicine and Tibetan astrology. Tibetan astrology has a unique understanding as it developed as an isolated system, not influenced by other cultures, but through observation. Through observation of the celestial bodies and their movements, which is known as superior astrology, observation of fog and winds, intermediary astrology, and observation of the behaviour of birds, the characteristics of the trees, the forests and the lakes, and of the formation of ice on lakes and rivers, inferior astrology. As this knowledge grew, so did the understanding of the cycles of the year, months, days, and of the increasing and decreasing cycles of the moon and of the movements of the sun. They came to understand them with great precision and clarity. In this time, this brought the understanding that the external world impacts on the human body, both through the astrological cycles and the knowledge that our bodies and our environments are constituted of the same energy, the 5 elements: space, wind, fire, and water. And the Yuthok, Nyingthig, and Tibetan medicine and Tibetan astrology have a very unique, close connection. The Mensikang is the house of healing and astrology. The things go hand in hand in Tibetan culture, and this particular practice really is focusing on both aspects. So La energy has a cyclical movement within the body with specific points according to the day of the lunar calendar. So there are 30 points in the body, and each day it moves to a different location. So it's something that you need to be aware of if you're having a surgery or a strong external therapy. You would ideally not have acupuncture on this part of your arm on a day where the light energy was situated there. It is also the pure energy of the five elements, the building blocks for the human body. And in Tibetan medicine is considered a very important energy and belongs to the triad of protective energy, vital energy, and energy that regulates the duration of life. So we can lose our La for many reasons, not just stress of a life on earth in these times. It can be due to excessively strong external invasive therapies, things like bloodletting, acupuncture, small surgical procedures. Therapies such as moxibustion, bloodletting, acupuncture applied to a point where the La energy is present on that day. Other causes include surgical operations, shock, accidents, childbirth, physical or mental trauma, chronic illness, and acute pain. When someone's La energy is in good condition, they are physically well and strong, and their mind is clear and happy. Signs that someone has lost their La energy are feelings of sadness, being tired all the time, anxiety, a greyish complexion, confusion, mental nervousness, waking often suddenly from sleep for no reason. We've all had that feeling of jerking awake, and decreased sexual activity. Any of these can be enough to not only cause loss of La energy, but to put someone's lifespan in danger, as our vital and life energy are affected as well. So tonight we also call back the vital and the life energy. So this practice is part of the Yuthok Nyingthig long life empowerment that vanquishes the Lord of Death. And it's a unique practice to call back the wandering La, the life force, the Tse, the lifespan, and the Tsok, the vital force. And as I said, it can be performed for yourself or for others. So we're utilizing the datar, the long arrow, with 5 coloured ribbons, blue, white, yellow, red, and green, representing the 5 elements: space, water, earth, fire, and wind. So you can see it's fletched on one end, as a real arrow would be, and has copper point. I got this one at Maritika in Nepal, where the sacred caves are. So utilizing the datar, we also are visualizing ourselves as long life, Hayagriva, and Vajravahari in union. And then we're calling upon the 4 dakinis and their special activities of pacifying, increasing, controlling, and destroying. One hooks back the life force from the 10 directions: the sky above, the earth underneath, the 4 cardinal and intercardinal directions. And the result is restored physical and energetic health and vitality, prolonged lifespan, and increased clarity and happiness in the mind. I think we could all do with some of that. So first, to prepare ourselves, we're going to do a couple of short prayers. First, of course, is our refuge prayer. If you're not a Buddhist, you don't have to participate in this part of the activity. You can just think good thoughts. Rig to deshek doji changchok to konchok sunchino, dakshin chanchok matopa ning nani vachap suchi. Rig to deshek doji changchok to konchok sunchino, dakshin chanchok matopa ning nani vachap suchi. You hear the union of all Sagatas and Vajradhara, essence of the 3 jewels in the 10 directions and 3 times, until I and all others achieve enlightenment. From my inner heart, I take refuge in you. Now this second prayer is arousing bodhicitta. Sanji chudeng sukchi chunam la, jangju badu dagni chop suchi, daji jin sogji pe sonam ki, rola panchi sanji du pasuk. Sanji chudang sukchi chunam la, jangju badu dagni chop suchi, daji jin sogji pe sonam ki, rola panchi sanji du pasuk. Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, until enlightenment I take refuge in you. Through my merit of generosity and so on, may I attain Buddhahood for the good of all sentient beings. And then the 4 immeasurables, a very beautiful prayer. which would not be out of place in any church or temple or place of spiritual blessing. Samchen tamche dewa dang diwe juden dan pakuchik. Samchen tamche dukna dang jigu dang drewa kuchik. Samchen tamche dukna me pe dewa dang mi drewa kuchik. Samchen tamche ni ningchak dang ni dang drao betong nam lane pakuchik. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be separated from the supreme joy that is beyond all sorrow. May all beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, and sorrow. And then we say one more time, remembering that all sentient beings includes you and me. May I have happiness and the causes of happiness. May I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May I never be separated from the supreme joy that is beyond all sorrow. And may I abide in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, and sorrow. So now we'll begin. The deities you see in front of you are Hayagriva and Vajrahari in consort, in union. If you have had appropriate initiations, then you should feel free to visualize yourself in this form. If you have not, then it's perfectly okay to just gaze at the image or imagine that they are in front of you as we are going through this process. So have a little look at it. And then meditate that you're transformed instantaneously into Hayagriva and Vajrahari in union. Vajrahari. In your right hands you hold curved knives, and in your left longevity vases. You are encircled by the 4 activity dakinis who hold the ritual longevity arrows with silk streamers and longevity vases. Meditate that the Supreme Guru, your Yuthok Gompo, is above the crown of your head, seated at the center of a 4-petaled lotus and all the surrounding 4 petals. He appears in the form of various Buddha family Buddhas, all in union and holding longevity vases, curved knives, and longevity arrows. So this first part is the lifespan hooking practice. So we're extending our lives. Having imagined that from the hearts of the assembly of deities, supreme emanated messengers of indefinite colour, ornamented in silks and jewels, holding lifespan hooking hooks, longevity vases, and arrows tied with silk ribbons, pervade everywhere in every cardinal and intercardinal direction, above and below innumerably. Having perceived that the collected lifespans of the 3,000-fold world system without exception, the 3 realms and the 3 levels of existence, of the 3-fold worldly gods, demons, and humans, and especially one's own life force and lifespan wandering about, have all been hooked back by means of the syllable Ri. That's the syllable you can see on the screen there. Mahong and the Mahaguru Savabhu sitting on Mahong Savaman Tam Tam Hai Nitsita Shing Shing Savat City Samayata Hong Tsui Shit City Hong Mahong Savaman Shing Savat City Samayata Then the Ayish Mahong and the Guru. Shing Shing Savat City Samayata. So imagine now that they dissolve back into you and that you obtain the city of deathlessness. The Hong, which is the condensed glory of the supreme speech of the conqueror Buddhas of 3 times. The principal magnetizing activities of Father Hayagriva and Mother Vajrahari in static union, the emanations, secondary emanations, and their retinues having come forth at this time, perform the activities of hooking back the life force, La, and the life span, Se, from the sky above and the earth underneath. Crush into dust the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. Chop into pieces the heads of the gods and demons who cut the life vital force. Cut the red channels of the executioner spirits who take away the breath Book back now the wandering life force and lifespan of the sponsor. Say your name now and the name of anyone that you are thinking that you would like to be included in this. Now, close your eyes and imagine that lights radiate out in all the 10 directions from the vital heart essence mantras that sit on top of the solar and lunar discs inside the heart centers of all the assembled deities, the central couple, and all the retinue. These offer pleasing offerings to all the Sagatas and incite them on the level of body, speech, and mind. Through their compassion, empowering blessings, granting the cities of longevity, condense back in. These dissolve into the heart mantras and the longevity vases held in the deity's hands. The light from the spinning mantra chains pervades your body, and as a result, the 404 categories of disease and the thousands of Gek or obstructive forces and so on, all karma and adverse conditions, every obstacle to longevity is utterly incinerated by the light rays of the fire of primordial wisdom. The last remaining whiff or puff of smoke from these incinerated obstacles is scattered, blown away by aeonic winds, the winds that howl at the end of a cosmic age. Your entire body, every tiny pore, orifice, organ, etc., is plugged up and sealed firmly with countless golden vajras the size of barley grains. Imagine that they plug the openings and seal the boundaries of your body and that no other harmful influences can enter you. Then imagine once more that light radiates outwards from your heart centers and then condenses back in, bringing with it the most refined quintessence of all Sok life force, glory, majesty, abundance, and power and authority from every possible sentient being and the essence of every medicinal substance, grain, food, fabric, jewel, precious substance, element, and so on from the entire universe, from every outer and inner dimension. Conceive that your body is filled with the nectar of the exalted city of immortality, and that through this you obtain in your Vajra body the indestructible longevity of the conjoined sun and moon, and solar and lunar essences and drops. So we'll just sit for a minute while all that is going on inside of us. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our beautiful dakinis. So for the first one, you're going to need to face yourself east, southeast if you can. Don't stress too much, but if you can, rotate yourself in that direction. She's waiting for you. So, and have a little look at her because in a moment you're going to be closing your eyes. But this is the Dakini we're visualizing. Her element is water and she is pacifying. Her color is white. So just close your eyes. I'm going to describe what she brings back and then read through the text part of the practice. We'll read it once in Tibetan and then once in English. She calls back all of your lost La energy, every bit of it that has been lost in the past now returns to your heart, to your head, or is just filling your whole body, and so that you are become like a light body. So really feel this. This energy is coming to you from the east, southeast, from this Dakini. The element is water, and she's pacifying She's pacifying all the obstacles, all the negative energies, all the things that stand between you and your energy returning to you. That is her task. Dojikandra Chakhuting Bunzin, Tiweletse Trul Payung Trel Chiko Tuk Chetukdam Zel Ze Tudaba. Shadang Shalok Chukne Te Kupchik, Chidak Tuki Ponia Dundulok, Sok Chula Chego Zelpako, Buklin Sheme Zokta Mako Cho, Mundakle Te Kyampo Da Taku. Vajradakini, who holds the lion hook and the dark blue vase. Having come forth at this time, along with your emanations and secondary emanations, and all their retinues who conduct pacifying actions, fulfill your pledges. Look back the lifespan from the eastern and southeastern directions. Crush into dust the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. Chop into pieces the heads of worldly gods and demons who cut the vital life force. Cut the red life channels of the executioner spirits who take away its breath, and hook back now the wandering life force and lifespan of the sponsor. So say your name or the name of the person or people you're thinking of. So really feel that beautiful light returning to you from this Dakini, bringing all of your lost light energy, whether it's been through illness or grief or stress, minor surgeries, childbirth, car accidents, all of these things, arguments, sickness. A lot of people lost a lot of light energy in the time of COVID. So let's have it all come back. It's yours, claim it. All right, now I'm going to move again. Now you're moving around to face south, southwest. This is our precious Jewel Dakini, and her element is earth. And she's increasing. So the Ratna or Jewel Dakini. So have a look at her. She's red, golden color, sorry, not red, golden. And then close your eyes and visualize this energy returning to you. Her power is increasing. All the La comes back as a golden light from plants, from trees, from mountains, springs, rivers, from the ocean, even from beyond the earth, from the stars. Infinite golden dakinis surround you with golden light as they hook back La, happiness, joy, and energy. So imagine this light coming towards you as beautiful, precious jewels, increasing. The more you imagine, the more there is. Imagine your light body being filled with incredibly infinite precious jewels. Rinchen Kandro Choke Se Buntin. Yipe Lete Trilpa Yang Tril Kecho Chik Tuk Dam Zelze Du Lama. Lodang No Lu Nukchok Lete Chuk Chik. Chidak Tuki No Ponya Du Dulok. Zok Chula De Bo Zel Pako. Uklen Sheme Zokta Ma Pacho. Yondak La Te Kyam Pa. Odat Takuk. It's terrible today. O Jewel Dakini, who holds the iron hook in the golden vase, having come forth at this time, along with your emanations, secondary emanations, and all their retinues who conduct increasing actions, fulfill your pledges. Hook back the lifespan from the southern and southwestern directions. Crush into dust the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. Chop into pieces the heads of the worldly gods and demons who cut the vital force. Cut the red life channels of the executioner spirits who take away the breath. Hook back now the wandering life force and lifespan of the sponsor. So just sit for a moment and visualize this light, this golden light coming back to you in the form of precious, precious jewels, increasing. We're not just recalling your life force, we're increasing your vitality and life force. Moving beyond the planet from the stars themselves. Really feel it. Have faith that it's returning to you. Feel it in your heart. Okay, time to moving in. And now we have our beautiful red dakini, our lotus dakini. So you're facing west, northwest, and she is the power of controlling. Just have a look at her so you can visualize her when your eyes are closed. So her element is fire, and she is color, and her power is controlling. She hooks La energy and lifespan and joy and fortune and control over your life and your life forces from the mountains, from the plants, from water, and from the stars. She hooks back La lost when you were in the womb, when you were born, and through all the ages of your life. All the times as you've been through the various stages of your life where you have lost La, this Takini is bringing it back for you and it's dissolving into you. So as it comes, feel it dissolving into you. So she's controlling this, she's bringing it back for you from all the places where it's been lost. In the little universe you were in the womb, then lost in the process of being born, and then all the major stages and ages of our lives, we lose a little bit more. So now it's coming back. Pemokandro Chakyu Sangbunzin, Wangi Leze Chulpayang Chul Cheko Te Tukdam Zelze Dulaba. Nupdang Nupjang Chuk Ne Tse Kupchik, Chidak Du Kipo Yadul Dulok, Tukchula Dre Go Zelpako, Uklen Shime Tsukta Mapochu, Yundak La Tse Kyampo Data. O lotus dakini who holds the iron hook and copper vase, having come forth at this time with your emanations and secondary emanations and all their retinues who conduct controlling actions, fulfill your pledges. Hook back the lifespan from the west and northwestern direction. Crush into dust the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. Chop into pieces the heads of worldly gods and demons who cut the vital life force. Cut the red life channels of the executioner spirits who take away the breath. Hook back now the wandering life force and lifespan of this patron. So just for a moment, sit and really feel this energy coming back to you from earth and beyond, and from before you were really even born, and all the stages of life where we have lost our La energy. Feel it dissolving back into your body and into your energy body. Feel it into your head, your throat, your heart, your navel, and your base chakra. Feel all of those chakras being filled with this energy. And then turning to the last direction, we're facing now to the north or northeast and northeast, so the cardinal and the secondary cardinal point, the intercardinal point. And Action Dakini, she's green and her element is the wind, and she's destroying everything that stands between you and the return of your energy, and destroying the things that have taken it from you. She's very beautiful. So have a look at her before you close your eyes and focus on what she's going to do for you. So wind element. She is the Karma Dakini, and she is very powerful and wrathful. She will destroy anything that has happened to you in your past to release the La that was lost at that time. This can even include your past lives. Have faith in this. This Dakini is going to come and help you, and she means business. So she's tidying up. She's destroying all the obstacles, all the negative influences, the things that have stolen your La, and destroys anything that's happened in the past that has kept it from you. Trauma, fear, sorrow, all of these things. Heavy emotions steal a lot of our La. Grief, anger, jealousy, all of these things are being blown away by the wind of this, the karmic wind of this Action Dakini. You can hear it whizzing past your ears. Lekando chakyu yubunsen dakpole tul hayang tul chiko chik tuk damzel say dulabab jandang jang shu shao chukne te kupchik chidak tuki punya dultulok sok chula dre kuwo silpako uklen she me sok sama pucho Yondakla te kiampoda ta kukche te kukche. Or Action Dakini, who holds the iron cork and the turquoise vase, having come forth at this time, along with your emanations, secondary emanations, and all their retinues who conduct wrathful actions, fulfill your pledges. Look back the lifespan from the north and northeast directions. Crush into dust the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. Chop into pieces the heads of the devas, samsaric devas and demigods and demons who cut the vital life force. Cut the red life channels of the execution spirits who take the breath away. Hook back now the wandering life force and lifespan of the sponsor. Say your name there, and the name of anyone you wish to help as well. And in this time too, we've been asking back our courage, our confidence, our self-worth, our equanimity, our peace of mind. All the things will return to us with our La energy and our life force. Now, with all of our beautiful Dakinis around us doing their job, and don't just imagine that there's 5 of them, there are infinite emanations of Dakinis currently surrounding you and doing everything they can to return your life force and remove the obstacles and bring it all back to where it needs to be. So we're just going to do one round of the Dakini mantra, which is Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa. If you prefer not to say it, that's fine, but we'll just do one mala of the Dakini mantra. Bam Hari Nisa, 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 Bam Hari Nisa. Bam Hari Nisa, 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 Bam Hari Nisa. Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa. Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa. Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa, Bam Hari Nisa. Halinsa. And I should mention too, you see the blue one in the middle there, she represents the space element. Space is implied often because we need space for all of these other elements to form and create. So she is like the crucible. So now we say our prayer to Yuthok as we bring the session to a close. To the secret union of all Buddhas of the three times, I pray from the depths of my heart and bones. Bless me through your body, speech, and mind. Grant me the supreme and common cities. And then we seal our practice with the mantra of interdependence, and we say that one 3 times. Om Yadama Hitan Tabawa Hitan Tishan Tatagato Ayawadi Tishan Sayonira Eva Mandi Mahashamana Soha. Om Yadama Hitan Tabawa Hitan Tishan Tatagato Ayawadi Tishan Sayonira Eva Mandi Mahashamana Soha. Om Yadama Hitan Tabawa Hitan Tishan Tatagato Ayawadi Tishan Sayonira Eva Mandi Mahashamana Soha. And there we have it. Our La is collected. Thank you all for joining me. I apologize, my Tibetan reading was terrible tonight. It comes and goes. But I'm sure it didn't affect the benefits. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Matei. No questions? All very good students. So we'll do this again. I do them every 3 months with the seasonal change. If you want to be on the mailing list and receive notice of it, send me an email at that email I put in the chat. Aurora Healing Center at gmail.com.au. Oh, no, not gmail.com, sorry. Also, oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Pranav. You find me on Facebook or Instagram too, so it's always up on there. And if you're interested, I'm offering the, thank you, Kalia, the Yuthok Nundro from the first week of December. We'll be doing that online, 2 sessions a day. And that's also up on all those places. You can go and read about that there. That's a preliminary practice. The Yuthok Nyingthig Nundro is unique in the Buddhist canon. It's a complete Nundro in a week. Unheard of, I know. Everyone else is very jealous. So if you have an interest in that, I really recommend it. It's a beautiful practice. Yeah. So give that to Louise. If no one's got any questions, I'm sure. Yes, we'll see you Monday. We have a Shenlong practice group on Mondays. Well, thank you, Laura. Otherwise, thank you for bringing your beautiful energy. I hope that you feel the benefit over the next few days. If you have any really cool dreams, let me know. I love hearing the dream stories. And you'll get a link to the recording, and then also later on it'll go up on the YouTube channel. So you can just, do it again if you want to. Yeah. All right. Take care, everybody.